Sometimes things happen that are really unexpected. But my question is, in certain situations, who's liable? Whose fault is it? Because only a day or so ago, we had a live band on. So the car park that we've got soon filled up. The cars were basically shoulder to shoulder and everybody had a brilliant night. But the next morning, this happened. I know I'm gardening at this site, but I think that might be pushing boat out a little bit too far. That tree behind me has just collapsed. And the amusing thing about that is, there's no wind. That is basically half of that tree and it's collapsed on the roof of that building. So I'm going to have to check interior of that. But how lucky was that guy that he parked his van there and not there. You can see where the entire thing has torn itself away from the main part of the tree. That is going to be a job and a half, and if I have to do it, I'll do it. But I think I'm going to need quite a few more hands because it's on top of that roof as well. This was my quiet day, sat outside having a drink, and then I just saw this entire thing collapse. And as I said, it's slightly windy, but it's not a massive gale. Anyway, luckily that didn't happen yesterday because we had a band on and this car park was full. So anybody had a park there would have definitely had a bad day. Looks like I'm going to be busy over the next few days. Definitely need to get it off this roof. So, as you saw by that video, that was quite bad. That was a really big part of that tree that just collapsed onto the car park, which is exactly where everybody parked the cars. People come here to watch bands and they'll have a meal. They don't expect finishing that and then going back to the car park to see the car crushed. Worse than that, it could have landed on somebody as they were getting in the car. But luckily, that wasn't the case. This happened the next day after everybody had gone home. But what I was thinking is this site has got a lot of trees on it, as big as that one and bigger, and quite a few of them are right behind people's caravans. So you just bought a static caravan and then all of a sudden, out of blue, a tree decides to collapse. And I'm pretty sure that if a tree lands on top of one of these caravans, it's going to completely destroy it. They're not very strong buildings. But who's liable in the case of that happening? A lot of people spend a lot of money on the vans. And I've got insurance as well, which is basically part of the deal. If you don't get caravan insurance, you're not allowed on this site. So is the insurance company responsible for any damages like that incurred? Because when I checked my policy quite a while ago, it was covered for fire and flood. I didn't see anything on there about damage from falling trees. But maybe somebody out there knows how that works. So if you do, just drop me a comment. I'd be really interested to find out. We've got a tree outside of us. It's not huge, but as you go across the front and the back of this site, every now and again there's huge trees hovering above your precious caravan. So in the event of that happening, and you can't get a claim from anyone because of that, then that would be pretty soul destroying to just get it set up, or even if you've had it for quite a while and it's something that you love to come and do. If that does happen, does that mean that that's your fault? Do they call it an act of God, which I've heard before? Will your insurance pay out for it? But as I've said, I've seen nothing on there about that. It does say about fire damage, and you're also covered for floods, as long as the flood doesn't start from within the van, meaning burst pipes. So it'd be really interesting to know the answer to that question. There must be somebody out there that knows, because after seeing that, that could have been a lot worse than it were. And the guy's van that was parked there was just missed by that piece of tree. That's somebody who occasionally works on this site. So quite often his car is in that position. I did speak to him quite recently and he said I usually put it over other side, which is exactly where that tree fell. That particular day he decided to move it to somewhere else, because I think what they do is van lifers can actually come to this site, and I didn't notice until the other day when I was stood looking at it. Along that wall where that tree fell, there's power sockets, so you can come on here and you can hook up your van into electricity, and I think they charge you about £20 a day, so you've got electricity all the time you're there. And that is why this guy moved his van, because the next day is when people tend to turn up and they need to plug into those sockets. Thankfully, the following day, nobody was there, but the day before that, there was. So it just shows you, it could happen to anybody at any time. But have you got a claim with somebody, or do you basically just lose everything? But apart from that, that tree has got to be cleared up by somebody as well. They're going to have to get somebody to come out and do that. I cut grass and do trimming, but I'm not a tree surgeon, so I ain't climbing on a ladder and tackling that with a chainsaw. It's far too dangerous, and once again, I don't think I'm covered to do that anyway. And it needs to be done very soon, because next week we've got another live band on. But then again, if I suppose that tree's still there, maybe that'll encourage people to park a little bit far away, just in case. Thank you so much for being part of this channel, and I'll await your comments. If I don't answer your comments, it's because I'm busy doing 2 channels plus this maintenance job on side. So don't think for 1 second that I ignore people's comments. I read every one, and when I get a chance, I will answer them. At the moment, because of the time of year, the maintenance work is full on. You've got to keep on top of your job, or it'll soon run away with you. So thank you so much for all your comments over the last couple of months. I really do appreciate every single one. Meanwhile, I think I'm going to have a look around this site and see if there's any plots with no trees around them, just in case. If you're not already subscribed to the channel and you'd like to follow what happens to us since we've been in this static caravan, then please hit that subscribe button, then press that notifications bell, and I'll see you on the next one. You all take care.